Well, TRT was Jon Brain has been covering this for us and joins us now live on set. So, John, look, these are just the latest terrible scenes that we're seeing in Dallas. It's another mass killing now that 5 police officers have died. It's going to ignite the debate again over gun violence in the United States, isn't it?
Well, it is, and these incidents never lose their power to shock, no matter how numerous they are. But from the outside world, as accompanying the shock is this bafflement that this is still happening in the US. This is not some banana republic. This isn't a failed state like Iraq. And yet the world's most highly developed society just doesn't seem to be able to get a grip on its gun culture and keeps resorting to this constitutional right to bear arms as an excuse or a reason not to be able to legislate. And the problem is just the proliferation of guns. If citizens have guns, you know, we keep hearing this argument that people need to have guns in the United States to protect themselves. But all the research, certainly in Europe, is that if you carry a weapon, you're far more likely to be the victim of violent crime than if you don't, whether it's a gun or a knife. And when you see that video of the motorist being shot by the police officer, your first reaction obviously is horror at the police officer's actions. But if you're looking at that from outside the US, your second reaction is, hang on, why is this presumably law-abiding citizen carrying a gun in his car when he drives? If he hadn't had that gun, he would not have been shot.
Absolutely not. And American friends and family tell me that lots of them carry legal firearms all the time. It's just part of the culture. And the example there is Australia. They banned people carrying weapons and their mass shootings completely stopped. Now, this is the political impasse, isn't it, John? That's what's causing this, the fact that you can't get the political parties together to decide to put an end, or at least put restrictions, not even restrictions on the carrying and use of these weapons.
And this is what the outside world really struggles to comprehend. There was a mass shooting in a school in Scotland many years ago, and within months, the law had been changed to prevent the type of weapon used being sold on the streets. And yet, in the US, as we've seen recently, you could actually be on a terror watch list and still have the right to buy a gun. And then there's this escalation. Because the people have guns, the police forces feel they need even more powerful ones. So you're seeing this effective militarization of the police forces in some instance, where it looks more like the army than a police force, and that makes it harder to connect with the communities. And let me give you a comparison with the United Kingdom, where, yes, some officers have guns, but officers are not routinely armed. Those who do have guns are in special units. They've had special training. And if they discharge a weapon, they're immediately suspended from firearms duties while there's an investigation on whether they were justified in doing what they did. But in America, police officers are routinely armed. And so we've got here an incident of a traffic officer with a gun. Clearly, he's overreacted if we look at the video evidence. Not had that presumably specialist training, and so you get this escalation all the time.
And every time these happen, John, we think there might be the moment. Children being killed, we think that might be the moment. You know, we see 50 people being killed in a nightclub, we think that might be the moment. Perhaps now that police have been killed, do you think that could be a moment?
Well, you wonder. I think most people thought that the incident at the Sandy Hook Primary School would be the turning point. And I think when that wasn't, I think there was a general acceptance that this is going to be even harder for the United States to resolve as an issue than originally thought. You've got a very powerful gun lobby, and you've got, as I say, this constitutional guarantee of the right to bear arms, which just seems unshiftable.
Absolutely. Well, it does, John. We'll discuss it, I'm sure, in more detail later. Thank you very much for coming on.